Hey, it's Joy. You know what time it is? It is Momentum Monday Message. Hope you've had a great week and weekend, and let's get started. Let's move into, we are in a new month. Hope you enjoyed the past 4 weeks, really diving in and looking at commitment to first week we talked about commitment of self, then we talked about commitment of the mind, third week body, and then last week was finances, and that was when I revealed some of the commitments to myself when it comes to my finances and my future and moving forward. So this month the theme is going to be consistent. And for the first week, we want to talk about being consistent with yourself. How are you consistent with yourself? Do you allow yourself some downtime when it comes to time? Do you even think about taking time for yourself? Or is it something you skip over, right? Or what about patience? Are you patient with yourself? Consistent about being patient with yourself? That is something that I struggle with, is being patient with myself, because I have that type A personality where, I want things this way, that way, and the other. But what I have learned literally on my journey of um, finding my joy and understanding who I am as a person, I know that I'm that way. And I have to literally stop myself in the middle and say, okay, wait a minute, calm down. Don't get too excited. You need to slow it down and know that you're going to have bumps along the road, that you may have to think about a process a different way. So, how are you with being patient with yourself, as I mentioned, and then also time? How are you patient with yourself, or how does time in terms of yourself are you giving? Are you giving yourself enough time to deal with the things that you need to deal with, or just time being by yourself? We get so busy that we forget about ourselves. And are you allowing for self care? I know for me, that was self care was something that did not exist 4 years ago. I just was like, nope, I can do it. Just keep going, move it, move it, move it, move it. But in the long run, it will wear you down to the point where you are so exhausted, you just literally you become very robotic. And it's, whew, that life is no fun. So, in terms of being consistent with myself, what I do now is, especially since I have a second job, what I do now is first thing when I get home is I decompress. I purposely am consistent with decompressing, because if I don't, it literally just runs through to the next day and the next day and the next day. So I have to be and am very diligent and deliberate about having that decompression for myself. So I'll take about 20 minutes. I'll get quiet, come in my Zen space. My office is my Zen space. That's what I call it. And I am able to relax and not allow myself to get so overwhelmed by things. So it's that consistency that is necessary for us to literally maintain sanity. So let me ask the question, as I always will: how are you consistent with yourself? Now, the second question I want to ask, because as I sat down and started thinking about, how to enter this subject about being consistent with self, is, now think about this, and you might even want to write it down. Is your consistency negative when it comes to yourself? And let me give you an example what I mean by that. So let's say you had a bad evening and you wake up the next morning and you're in that negative space. Are you talking negative to yourself when you first get up in the morning? Are you talking negative to yourself when you are getting ready for work? Oh, why do you look like that? Oh, your hair, this, your hair, your clothes, you're this, you're that. Oh, if I could only lose 10, 15 pounds, I wouldn't. That's the negative self talk that we may be consistent, there's that word, being consistent in um, bringing that into our daily existence. And that's something that I would ask that you really stop and take a look at. Is your consistency about yourself negative or positive? Because I'm pretty sure you will be surprised at how many negative consistencies about self that you have. Because I originally was surprised when I went through this exercise, and it's something that will literally stop you in your tracks and make you realize that, wow, I don't even realize what I'm saying. You may not necessarily say it out loud or what I'm thinking. And it can be very discouraging and not even realize it. So for this week, really think about how you are consistent with yourself and whether that consistency is negative or positive. This is Joy with Enjoy Being Fit, helping you and myself get through this crazy world. And I will talk to you next week. Have a good week. Have a good day.